as always. My other question is about what particular injustice has been so close to your own heart
Right.
currently going on in Nigeria to the Biafrans.
Thank you for that. The biggest thing I mean, there's numerous of injustice, right? Every day I'm getting somebody's getting kidnapped, abducted, or raped. The biggest one that I'm currently working on is the women that were abducted and they were brought to Abuja and they were raped. They were raped. I believe the time that they were abducted was around October, November, by the Nigerian army. The Nigerian army, right, abducted them. They were raped. And I kind of get emotional. Like I don't want to get emotional, but since that has happened, I've been able to speak with some of the women, and I'm not going to say the women that I'm communicating with, but one of them or two of them, just two of them that I've been speaking with, they shared their story with me in a way that I can't sleep. She was raped. Like, let me just give you
Wow.
stories. She was raped
Wow.
while she was in prison, and the thing that hurt me the most was she was a virgin, right?
Hmm.
She was a virgin, and they raped her. She told me about 4 to 5 men a day.
Wow.
Right. Not only was she raped, it was probably when she was detained, it was probably like one time or twice a week where she was even able to get food.
Hmm. By
Right?
the but you said by the Nigerian army.
By the Nigerian army. Yes.
The Nigerian army are like the people who are meant to protect the people. There's
Exactly.
the citizens of Nigeria raped their own citizens.
Exactly. The people that are meant to protect you are the ones that are doing it. And
Wow.
the way that she said it was just man after man. I mean, if that does not hurt your soul, then why are you even living? Why? It hurts me so much.
Sorry, you're muted. I think you're muted, Carolyn.
I'm
Carolyn, I think you okay. I can hear you now. Go on. Go on.
It hurt me so much. I said to myself that every single one of those women that were raped or detained unjustly, their names are tattooed on my heart. And I will make sure that justice is served. Because the thing about it is, you see, this is the problems with Nigeria. You see, when the 300 schoolgirls were kidnapped, did you see that? The 300 girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a big deal, right? It was all over the news and stuff, which is very sad, right? Because the insecurity levels are, it's just horrible. The
Mm-hmm.
300 girls were kidnapped. This situation happened. Look at the media attention that it got.
Zero.
Zero. Zero. So my thing is, and Henry Shield, he had tweeted something that was so good. I would want to probably go back to that tweet, but basically it's like when things happen to Biafrans, it's like they're pretty much animals. They're at the bottom barrel, right? They're not
Mm-hmm.
even considered humans. They're not even considered, the governors don't, the governors in those states cannot protect them, right? So
Right.
people like me, you, other people that are advocating for their freedom, that's who they have. They
Mm-hmm.
can't trust their own government. So if you live in a society where you can't trust your own government, why in the hell are you living there? Why live there? Rather, allow us to create our own republic where the people can trust us, right? The
Exactly.
people
Yeah.
can trust us and people can start living, and the media, they like to report what they talk about what they want to talk about, right?
Right.
There's no difference from what was happening in the 60s until now. It's just that it's been drawn out. Biafrans have been killed by numbers. Not only are they killed by numbers, they're abducted every day. This new thing that the Nigerian that the government passed, where they basically bought a debugging system for WhatsApp, so they will
Mm-hmm.
be able to track Biafrans and abduct them. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what's going on. And then let me tell you this: they spend all of this money doing this for people advocating for freedom, but the real people like Boko Haram, you cannot have that same energy and do it. And then
Mm-hmm.
one more thing, and then I'll settle down. But Mazi Nnamdi tweeted today the video with the Fulanese stating that the Nigerian government is supplying them
Them
with
gone.
arms.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I saw that.
Supplying them with arms, right? You're supplying them with arms. Rather, these people that don't even have weapons, we had to raise up our own army to protect our people.
Right.
And these people that are just advocating for freedom, dying. For what cause? So please, that's why I said America or other countries, please tell me why you don't feel like it's necessary for you to step in. Why? When the government itself is the terrorist. The government itself is the terrorist.
Right.
We just want to be by ourselves. We can run it our own. We can do what we need to do for our people. Just leave us alone.
So I want you to ask. I want to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think is about Biafra? What is it about Biafra that brings like a sort of like a shiver in the minds of like people or the people in government? Why are they so afraid about Biafrans or Biafra or the idea about Biafra? Why does it seem like there's always a conflict whenever people bring up the issue of Biafra? In conversations.
See, if people thank you for that question. See, the problem is that the reason why they're so shaken by the idea of Biafra, because it's real, right? The government will laugh at things that they know that it's like not on their level, they can't worry about. But the way that we're rising and moving in a way is that Biafra is inevitable, right? Mm. Nigeria is on the verge of breaking. As a matter of fact, it's broken. Let's not even say it's on the verge of break. It's broken. So the fact that we're getting there, it doesn't sit well with them. Secondly, our ancestor spirits are real. People cannot forget the 1967 genocide. You cannot forget that. Some of the people now that are in the government, right? They were there during the war. Some of them were probably like teenagers and youth. They were there during the war. So just having that memory of, and people know that war, we lost a lot of people and they were at fault. It's a guilty factor too. Although they're evil, it's still a guilty factor. So it's like having that guilty factor and then seeing it as it's almost that it's possible, it's coming, where you can feel it coming. It's an issue for them. They're going to try to do everything they're going to do to stop it, right? But as they continue to show themselves by raping, abducting, and doing all this stuff, and as long as people like me and you and other people, our voices, we're unstoppable. And that's what they need to understand.
Yeah, totally. And I see that I've heard conversations where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has spoken in several platforms where he has said that he has continuously written to international communities, written letters, and nothing has been done to help the situation. So do you think at any point in time, do you think that, the international communities will play any role at all towards the emancipation of Biafrans or Biafra people?
I'm just going to be real, 100% real. So international communities, right? So when we think about the case of Biafra, what is the first country you think about, or the first international community that comes to your mind?
I would think of Israel.
Israel.
United States.
What else?
United States.
No, it's before the United States. Just a country that works so well with Nigeria.
Oh, the United Kingdom, the UK.
Correct. Right. They have, listen, so it's just a lot of stuff. You have to understand how this works. You have to kind of really unwind. You can't just some people just say, well, why can't these people help? You have to understand how people's hands are tied, right?
Right.
United Kingdom, when you go back, right? When you go way, way back, right? They pretty much came into this place where they made up called Nigeria, and they forced people to adapt to this lifestyle that was not theirs, right? And not only were they forcing people to adapt to it, they were also benefiting from it, right? Because in a way, not in a way, it's facts that Nigeria is a company. That's what it is, right? It's a company, right? And the white and the UK, they have their hands so tied in it, right? So it's like rather them actually doing the right thing, and they know what's right because because their silence enables, like their silence makes them guilty. They know what is right. They were there when the genocide happened. They know that you cannot force all these tribes together. Rather than them actually undoing their wrongs and putting their stance on and saying, hey, you know what, let's just go ahead and declare, let's do something where we can help these people declare Biafra. They won't do it because their hands are so tied. Their hands are so tied in this whole country of Nigeria. And that's the issue. That's the issue. And if that, if they don't want to focus on Biafra, fine. Let's talk about NSARS. The evidence was so clear of the police, of the Nigerian army shooting the protesters. Boom, boom. The evidence was clear. CNN broadcasted it. Everybody broadcast it. They even had something
Right.
at the ICC court. And today I found out that so far, only 4 police officers have been arrested. That's considered justice, right? That's considered justice. What has been done? You know what? Just as
Right.
Nigeria looks bad, the UK looks just as bad. They're at the same hands. There's no difference between the Nigeria and the UK, because if they're supposed to be a big brother, towards Nigeria, they're not allowing telling them or correcting them for their wrongs, or at least giving us what we want.
Right. Someone said, Mike Starter said the UK military trained the SARS operatives.
Yep.
I knew that as well. And that's crazy, because look at the way they train them. They train them to kill their own people, hate their own people. And those seeds have been grown in our minds. And now it's yielding so much fruit, because we're seeing so much division in the country and so much hatred on all sides. And someone else also says that England is the problem of Nigeria today. They should let Biafra go. Another one says, Ugochi says Biafra shall come. Mike started again, said international community will ignore as long as they can, because they are receiving resources from Africa. And I believe that's what's happening with most international communities, because they see Africa as like a looting ground, a place where they loot resources. So they don't really see, there is no really like this urgency to save any Africa. And it doesn't even matter whether it's Biafra, whether it's any other parts of Africa. They don't care. So that's why, and that leads me to my next question, the Eastern Security Network. What do you say to those people who say the Eastern Security Network is a far cry, or too much, like the Biafrans have gone too far with the Eastern Security Network? What's your view on that?
I wish my phone was open, because I would show you a picture that I received this week, and then everybody watching can tell me why we need the Eastern Security Network. The government is not protecting us. The government of the states where Biafrans reside in, they're not being protected by their own government. They allow Fulanese to come into the land, right? They haven't really, some of them are like walking on water. They haven't really actually put a standpoint on it. They allow all of these atrocities to happen to Biafrans. So when people are getting so tired of the dying and the killings and just the sad news every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen is you're going to continue to sleep on your back and just allow them to continue to do that? No. Every person deserves, they have a right to protect themselves. And that's exactly what the Eastern Security Network is doing. There's no wrong into what they're doing. You have a Nigerian army that supplies terrorist groups, right? That supplies actual terrorist groups and Fulanese with AK-47s when you're not allowed to have arms, right?
Right.
But people that are advocating for freedom, it's a problem. They are the biggest enemy, right? So that's my issue. People need to stop questioning, why is there an Eastern Security Network? Why are you continuing to kill Biafrans? Mm-hmm. Why does the government continue to kill Biafrans, right? Mm-hmm. And allow it? No justice is ever served. So guess what? We raised our own army, and they're doing
right. That's good. And that's good. Now, what's your view on the complacency? How complacent would you say the Nigerian journalists or the journalism in Nigeria has been? And what's your vision? Because Nigeria is moving to a brink of collapse. Everyone can see that Nigeria is going to collapse someday, sometime, somehow, with what's going on. But how would you say that the journalism in Nigeria is playing a role, to even bring more, problems in Nigeria?
Well, when we talk about Nigeria, it's a very impoverished country, right? So everything is pretty much controlled. Even though you know what the right thing to do, a higher authority can come and control you just with money, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the parts of the corruption, right? So where journalists know what they should know, they know what they should report, but then they're bought off by the government or they're threatened, right? So if you have those two mixes, no real journalism exists. You do have journalists, but how many, you could Google right now, journalists in Nigeria that has been killed this year or last year. They've, when the ones that are brave and they speak up, they either have to flee to another country and seek asylum, or they just stop what they're doing, or they're killed. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're putting that on somebody's life, then why even try to talk or tell people what the truth is, right? When your own
Mm-hmm.
government is killing you and silencing you when you're trying to speak of the truth. So that's the main reason why journalism is not real. And then you have the journalists, and I'm going to call them out. I'm not going to call them out, but you have the journalist companies that try to attack, even EBOs that try to attack what we're doing, what
Right.
Biafra. They try to make these false narratives. They try to talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Oh, he's not doing this, or he's doing this, or he's doing this. All lies, 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 lies.
Right.
Continue to lie, 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 lie. In order to what? To defeat what we're doing? To defeat what we're doing? No, it doesn't work like that. So that's why for me, it's hard for me to kind of find a journalist and trust them, right? So what I do is there's certain journalists that I work with, and I work with
Okay.
them around and see what we can do, because Inner Society, very good, and they're not affiliated with IPOB, but their facts are so on point, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually getting people here in America to actually look at some of their news because it's so on point, and that we need more of that.
Awesome, awesome. And I see some people have been like asking about streaming. Please, if you want to share this video on any platform, please go ahead and share it. I have no reservations. Share it on any platform you desire. We want to get this message out there. This is a very timely message, and we have to keep talking about the injustice going on in Biafra, the nation of Biafra, the people of Biafra. I want we just came out of Black History Month in America, all right? I want to ask you this question. What is your opinion? African Americans went through a similar situation like what's going on in Biafra land, where they were oppressed by white people, where they were killed by white people, where they were, hung on trees by white people. What's your opinion? What's the similarities between what African Americans faced in America and what Biafrans are facing in Nigeria? What's the similarities and how can we learn from African Americans and what they've done so far?
The discrimination and being oppressed. That's the biggest similarities. But the thing about when me being Black here in the United States, I said this before, I'll say it again. In ways, we're a second-class citizen, right? You're always judged. You're judged by your profession. You're judged by the way that you talk. Black people are judged, right? They're judged here. So in regards to, and who are they judged by? White people. You have to look at how slavery and racism put a big part in America, right? When Black people were so oppressed. I mean, like, I'm all Black Lives Matter, here, because that's what I fight for here as well. But if you just look at the history of America and Black people, they were just, it was horrible. And so Black people are free, they're still in a way oppressed in so many ways. There's so many innocent Black people that are currently in prison for crimes they did not commit. And I worked in an innocence clinic, and when you read, even they have no evidence and they're still locking them up, right? And this is what a white justice system that's doing this to Black people. So now when you pretty much compare that to a country like Nigeria, it hurts more. You know why? Because it's your own people that are suppressing you, right? It's yes, the British, fine, but it's still your own people that are suppressing you. So
Right.
that's an issue. It's like it's more of a it's not, it's like it's a dying pain. When you think about it, it's like Black on Black oppression. That's horrible, and that's what Biafrans are going through.
Right. And now I see that, even in a similarity with what's going on in African American in America, a lot of people see like an escape from Nigeria being they traveled out of the country. Right. So someone, goes out and shares a testimony in church. Hey, I got a visa to leave Nigeria. I'm going to America. And a lot of people who say that you are living in America. I'm living in America. Why then are you so passionate about what's going on in Biafra? Why don't you what's your view on that?
No, I mean, that's okay, because at the end of the day, like, you go, that's your home. Like where your root is. You talk about where your root is, and people now are like, oh, a lot of Black people are now like, oh, like Africa, that's like my home, that's my motherland, right? People kind of basically they kind of construe that into where their original home is. That same idea, that same method, that's the same thing I do, right? So Biafra, that's my home. That's where my ancestors were. Both of my parents were born and raised in Biafra, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want my children to know about Biafra. That is considered home, right? And there's no people that are here, Igbos and Biafrans that are Biafrans, all Biafrans that are here in the United States that they have notice of what's going on, and they say, oh, it hurts my heart so much. I can't think about it because, you know, the war was so bad. What's the difference between then and now? What's the difference between then and now, right? The same thing is happening, but with technology now and just the modern world, we have a better chance of doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So stop trying to feel sorry for Biafrans and what they're going through. Like, oh, it's too much. Oh, IPOB. Do something about it. Do something.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are not even in IPOB or that's just a Biafran. They do so much about the cause because they see the atrocities on a daily, right? And I think I told you earlier that came to my mind is our generation too, right? Oh, the youth, whatever. Our generation. Are you going to be in a generation? Are you just going to live in a generation and just be a doctor, a lawyer? And are you going to live in a generation, or are you going to fight for generations to come?
To come.
Right. And that's what I'm doing. Yes, I'm an attorney, but what else? I fight the way that I fight for Biafra. This is how the same method I apply for my clients because I hate injustice. If you know, I hate injustice. I hate injustice. I hate injustice. So the same energy that I use to fight for my cases here, I use that the same energy to fight for my people back at home, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's where it's at. Be that generation where you're gonna fight for generations to come. You only have one life to live. What are you gonna do to set yourself apart? What are you gonna do? What is the purpose that God has placed in your life to do in this world? Because yes, you can make a difference of being a doctor, an attorney, an engineer, and all of these good names, a baker, and whatever. But you ask yourself, right, when it comes to what we're doing, which is saving a population, that's huge. And people here in America that are Biafrans, or if you don't want to, Biafrans, or in other organizations such as UIU, join the struggle, right? Because this is real. This stuff is real.
Yeah. And UIU is also, it's Umo Igbo Unite in America. And, you know, so many things are going on. I want to ask you now, someone might ask, like, there's so many uprisings going on in Africa. There is one going on currently in Senegal. There's one going on in Cote d'Ivoire. There's one going on all over the world. There's one going on in Uganda, you know, with the killings in Bobby Wine's election and so many killings all over the world. Someone might ask, what's so special about the Biafran struggle? Like, what's so special about the Biafran people? And what is the essence of all of this agitation, all of this noise coming up from that place saying they want to leave, and time again? What's so special about this struggle?
So the thing is, which is crazy, is although I feel like, you know, Nigeria is very backwards and underdeveloped, a lot of different countries look at Nigeria as like the mantle of some sort of freedom, or, you know, as a structure that they can basically relate to or learn from, right? Which is sad. And that if you're placing Nigeria that high as a country, then think about what other countries are going to, right? Because Nigeria is very low regarding everything that's going on. So for me, when I think about, okay, we have this, we have Nigeria, and other countries are looking towards Nigeria. If we fight for freedom, if we fight for freedom, and when we get Biafra, and we basically show other countries in Africa, this is the example. Just be an example of what a country should look like. We have the resources, we have the wealth that was given free from God. Let's set that tone of what it looks like for people to exercise their fundamental rights, where you actually have a real military protecting you, where you have a president that speaks up live when atrocities occur, or a president that is not biased towards one type of ethnic group. No, Biafra is a representative of freedom. It represents freedom. You give us Biafra and we're going to show you what a proper country, what a proper republic would look like in Africa as a continent. When people start to see that, right, you're going to be like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too. You want to set that trend. And as long as this is going on, there's no trends that are going to be set.
So you're saying that Biafra is going to be an example to African nations all around the world. And my next question to you is then, like, someone will ask you, what then are the lead? What then is the leadership in all this Biafra in Eastern Nigeria? You know, the governors, the local government chairmen, all these other people that are taking up leadership positions. What are they doing? What's your opinion on what they are doing, and how can they do better to make even significant progress to the life of the Biafrans all over the world or in Nigeria?
So which leadership in Nigeria?
Yes, the leadership of the eastern leadership. Now, the governors of these eastern states. What's your opinion on them, and how can they do better to support what the Biafra movement is all about?
So let me stop you right there. So do better. They have not done anything.
Okay.
So we can't say how can they do better when they haven't done anything to help us, right? They're so caught up in the monetary, right? The monetary, the tangible of the money and the wealth that they're basically selling their souls and selling to basically generate from. So what can they do better? Nothing. They haven't done anything at all. What they can do better is look in the mirror and look to see if their ancestors could come out of their bodies or from their souls, right? They can pray to God to forgive them for their sins, for so much atrocities that has occurred in their hands. There's nothing that they've done that's benefiting us. They've hurt us more than help us. Because what you look at the top, when you look at Buhari, I don't address people as president if I don't feel like they are a president. So Buhari, if you look at him from the top or whatever, you know, he's feeding all of these governors and promising all these Igbo governors, or not promising, but I guess probably putting it in their heads that they possibly can become the president in 2023, right? You have all these youth rising up. Oh, we're going to have a youth democracy and rise up to become president. It's not going to happen. Look at the history of Nigeria and ask yourself, can an Igbo presidency happen? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And until they see that, maybe or maybe not, they'll help, but it doesn't matter. I don't look to the governors to help us to where we're going. All we have is ourselves. We don't depend, we cannot, the way that you deal with the struggle is you don't depend on people, right? You fight for yourself and you fight for your people.
Right. And so pretty much, from what I'm hearing you say, there is really nothing that they will do, and there's nothing that they can do. So my next question, I believe that the Biafran agitation has also awoken a different group of people now known as the Oduduwa Republic to speak up. So what would you say, and what's your advice to those that are agitating for Oduduwa Republic? And how would you say that they got this sort of courage from the Biafrans who have been shouting long ago?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited. And the thing is, I'm very happy that we do have, it's just another support, right? It's like, oh, Biafrans are crazy, they're crazy, but we're not the only ones that are agitating for freedom. You have different people, you know, agitating for freedom. The Yorubas, Middle Belts, there's different people agitating for freedom because they're tired of Nigeria. They're tired of Nigeria. They're tired of raising their children in a place where they don't know if their children are going to be alive tomorrow. People are tired, right? So I encourage them to continue to do what they're doing, and we're right there with them, right? We're not just fighting for ourselves, but we're fighting for everybody that wants out of this. Everybody that wants out. So yes.
That's good. That's a good response. Now, I want you to talk to us about, I know you are personal secretary to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What would you say what's your opinion about his leadership style, and what do you think draws people to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and what separates him from the lot of leaders that have come out of Eastern Nigeria?
Well, I would say for him is fearless. I think one word, what I would say about him is fearless, right? And I feel like for you, fearless and uncorrupted. Because the thing is, you have people that have tried to do what he's doing, but they get bought off, right? Or scared. Those two factors can make you, it can defeat you not even less than a month, you're done. Those two factors, in order for you to do this on a level that he's doing, you have to be fearless and you cannot be corrupt. And you have to truly have compassion for your people, right? That's what it is. You have to have that. It's that level of compassionate for your people. And it's that level of understanding your purpose. People believe in him, right? How long has he been doing this? Let the records show. He's been doing this for how long, right? Ongoing and ongoing, has not been bought. And that same level of compassion that he had when he started is the same level of compassion that he has now, and it's only growing, right? So when people look at a leader and they're saying, okay, we're trusting this man with our lives, we're trusting this man to lead us to freedom, right? They're looking for mistakes. Time after time after time, year after year after year, he's always doing the same thing, fighting for Biafra, fighting for Biafra. That narrative has never changed, right? So if you see somebody that's so consistent and so passionate about what they're doing, then come on, that's it. All they see. Everybody else in the struggle, and I don't like to talk about people because when I talk about certain people, I don't want their names to come up and they feel themselves. So people in the struggle that have betrayed the struggle, right? That try to go against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, look at them now. Instead of them, and they say, oh, he's not doing it. What are they doing? The people that have left the struggle, they're not even fighting for Biafra. They're just ramping about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and they're so obsessed with him. They're so obsessed. So obsessed. You take all that obsession that you have with one person, use that same to fight for what you were fighting for, right? To fight for what you said that he can't do. But you're doing that, but you're just obsessed about him. Sickening. So again, consistency, compassion, right? And that uncorruptness, right? And that leadership, that's what you need. And that's why people are continuing to follow him.
Totally. And what's your advice to those that are currently in, the Biafran agitation, the Biafra spirit, the Biafra movement? What's your advice to them to keep fighting, to keep going? What's your advice to those in the ESN who are volunteering to be in the ESN? It's a tough job, obviously. What's your advice to them? What would you say to them?
Your efforts are going to pay off. All of our efforts collectively are going to pay off, right? ESN, they have a job to protect the people on the ground. People that are in Twitter or social media, they have a job to get the news out. People that are here in America, you have a job to talk to your government. Everybody's effort is going to it's going to pay off. The thing that I encourage people the most is that in anything that you do, God is number one. I don't believe that you can do something if God is not the center and focus of what you're doing. If God is not the center of focus of what you're doing, any plans that you have will fail. God is the center and focus of this movement, right? We need to continue to pray to God to get us through this, and not only pray to God to get us through this, but thank him in advance for what he's going to do. Thank him in advance for what he's doing, because we've came a long way. Believe it or not, I've only been in here since October, and I just pretty much took off because, again, I hate injustice. So we need to just continue to, be each other's friend, best friend, love one another, and just continue to pull each other up when somebody else is low, because it's hard. It's hard seeing the atrocities day by day. It's very, very hard. So we need to continue to encourage one another, pray for one another, and know that at the end of the day, God is going to free his people. Free his people. He's going to free people that are going through this atrocity, that are having to. So yes.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I want everyone to know that Caroline Uchenna Okorafor is a lawyer, a human rights activist. She is the personal secretary of the indigenous people of Biafra and works very closely with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And we've had her on our show. For those who are just joining me, my name is Buchi Law. I run the organization Leadership Standard, and we aim at promoting young people who are doing great work in the world. And today we are spotlighting Caroline Uchenna Okorafor. As you all have been here since the beginning of this show, you can see how passionate she is about issues of injustice, issues of killings and murders and rapes of young women in Nigeria by the Nigerian army, allegedly. But that is what it is, because we know that is what has been shown. But we will continue to, we'll continue to have her on this show to keep talking. And I know you said you only have an hour to spend, and I'm always like a stickler to time, and I don't like to exhaust my guests. But is there any final words you want to say, Caroline? A lot of people are pulling on your strength, and I know that you as well. I don't know where you get your strength from, but I know that you get your strength obviously from God. I could tell how passionate you speak about God and His guidance in your life. But are there any final words? Is there anything you want to say? Maybe I didn't ask you about it, but if there's something you want to tell people who are listening.
I mean, the only thing that I can say is, if you're here in the United States and you're watching this, don't stop watching, and let's start taking action. Like, join what we're doing, and I'm telling you, your efforts, your individual efforts, is going to make a difference, right? And those of you who are unfortunately in Biafra right now, praying every day just to live, help is coming. We're coming, right? We're gonna help you, and I just want you to just. I'm not trying to say have patience, because you live there and you feel what's going on, but just bear with us and just know that we're not going to give up on this, right? For everyone who's lost somebody, who's been raped or tortured by these terrorist governments and different different ethnic groups, the Fulanese, or just affected in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your pain does not go unnoticed, and I'm right there with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your pain is my pain. Although I'm not physically there with you, I'm fighting for you, and there's other people fighting for you. And I just really want you to know that.
What's your advice for young people? For the young people in the struggle, for your people who are just, the young ones who are like coming out, risking their life. What's your advice to the young people currently who are in this Biafran struggle?
To just know that their efforts are going to set up a better generation for themselves and a generation to come, right? They need to continue to do what they do and be smart, right? If I tweet something that says delete WhatsApp, delete it, please. Like, if I'm tweeting stuff that's going to help, just please listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. But like, just continue to just fight and do what you're doing, because a lot of young people are very, very smart. A lot of them I talk to, very, very smart. So just continue to do what you're doing, right? We're all in this together, and we're gonna get through it.
All right. Well, on that note, I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank you, Caroline, for coming. Thank everyone for joining us. I see a lot of wonderful comments here. Thank you for everyone who has dropped a comment. And I want to just say that, please, wherever you are, please keep speaking up for the people of Biafra. Keep speaking up for the people of, the Eastern Security Network, whatever they're doing, keep supporting them, because I feel like it's something that needs to happen to save a lot of lives down the road, as well as even to save the lives of people who don't even expect that their lives will be saved. And Caroline Uchenna, great work. I wish you all the best in your role as the principal secretary, and keep inspiring and keep doing great things. Thank you for honoring my invitation, and
Yeah.
we hope to have this sometime again. Hopefully we get more people who will talk about the same issues. But from here and from here on, please, thank you all. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Leadership Standard on YouTube. Follow the Leadership Standard on Instagram and on Facebook. We do a lot of shows like this, and not just on Biafra. We talk about so many other issues. If you go on my Instagram page, you will see some of the videos we've had in the past. And even though I've had Caroline Uchenna previously before on my show, and we're bringing her here again the second time as a role as the principal secretary. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being with us today. Wish you all a wonderful Saturday. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, Caroline. Bye-bye.